It's after the trade deadline. The Flyers are out of the playoffs. They're in their final 20 games of this season. Fans just want to see some exciting hockey now. Not start with Matvei Michkov, but the fans did not get a chance to see Matvei Michkov in the final 10 or so minutes of Sunday's first period after the Devils took a 1-0 lead, where Michkov did not mark his man on the goal there. Was it justified? Was it not? We'll take a look at it here. We'll break it down, see what John Tortorella had to say about it after the game. I am Ryan Gilbert from Broad Street Hockey. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. Doing some great work over there. We got a bunch of videos on all the trade deadline stuff. We'll keep them coming the rest of the season, into the draft, into the offseason. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But yeah, let's just get right into the breakdown here. Here is the highlight. Here's how the shift starts right after that weird Ivan Fedotov cover next to the post where he just sat on it. So play the clip here. It's defense zone draw. Michkov is right there on the ice. You can see him. He's the highest guy in the zone, pressuring the puck here, pressuring Luke Hughes back to the point. Stays out high, stays in good defensive position here. Forces it, goes around the rink here, and goes on the other end. Michkov is the first forward in, forechecking. This pass here is where it hits Tippett's stick. So Michkov takes a little wheel, like a little wheel around the offensive zone. Maybe Tippett gets that. Maybe Michkov can get a quick 2-on-1, 1-on-0 against the goalie there in front. But Devils pick it up, get it out, and Michkov is up at the offensive zone faceoff dot. So let this play here. We see the Devils go up ice, get a clean zone entry there, go across ice, try to go cross crease, and this is where the puck hits here and goes out to there for the goal, and you just see Michkov enter the screen there as the shot winds up and goes in the net there for Cody Glass. They're celebrating. Goes to Torts here. He says, "What's happened there? What happened there? How did he get open?" So here's the first replay here. It doesn't really show too much. Shows more so how the puck bounces and Michkov kind of just watching out high. But here is where we got to really take a look on this next replay, is where you see it best. So you see here, I have it paused. Michkov out there, right up here as the top guy here as the Devils are changing. He's the last guy in the zone. He's up top. He's cheating for offense. That's what he's supposed to do as the type of offensive winner that he is. That's how he's been able to get so many of these breakaways, 2-on-1s and whatnot. So, he's up there. He's waiting for it. He was starting. Let me go back a few seconds here. He was starting to cover Glass there. Right here, you can see okay, they're not too far away, but Glass goes deeper. Michkov stays up high here, and it creates some separation where Glass just wide open here in the slot. Puck bounces to him. Great puck luck here there for the Devils, and he winds up and puts it in. Fedotov can't see the puck, doesn't know what's going on. Not in great position, but it's Ivan Fedotov, so that's just how it's going to work there. And Michkov there skates back to the bench where he stays for the final 8 minutes and 50 seconds of the first period. He did return for the second period and the third, so he got back out there. But of course, anytime Matvei Michkov is going to be scratched, it's going to be under the microscope. And John Tortorella was asked about it after the game, and let's take a listen at what he had to say.
In the first there, it looked like after the goal, you kind of sat down.
Yeah, situations happen.
Is it hard for you to do that, and especially with him being so young?
No.
Just one of those moments that it's very easy to do.
No, it's part of the process.
Situations happen, part of the process. That's what we come to expect from John Tortorella. Not going to give many answers about his decision making. Everyone's kind of treated the same, including Michkov developing the right way and whatnot. So that was the answer to that question. And then there was a follow-up question from, I believe, Charlie O'Connor here, and Torts goes on to interrupt him and give a answer back.
A few weeks ago when I believe you sat him for the rest of the game, and you had said that in retrospect you would have put him back.
Just let me tell you guys something, okay? There are a number of things that come into play, not one specific play, okay? And you are at a disadvantage because I'm not going to give you information. It's not always the play on the ice that I'm trying to teach. So use that as a context before you start all your. There are so many things that go on, and with me trying to develop that player. And I'm going to continue to do it the way I think it should be done. But don't just look at the play. No, he didn't do the job as far as back checking. No, he didn't do the job in the offense zone. But there are a number of other things that come into play. And I need to show you the respect that I'm not going to give you that information, and you don't realize that. So don't make a bigger deal out of it than you think you need to.
Last one.
And that was that on that from John Tortorella. That's how the press conference ended. Look like 4 seconds left. Last question. Walks off the podium there. So that's John Tortorella. He before that said he was happy with how his team played well, played better. 3-1 final score with the empty netter late. So, but not really a competitive game when you watch the game, but looking at the final score, fairly competitive game. But this just goes back to what John Tortorella is. John Tortorella is very divisive. This is what he is divisive about. Matvei Michkov being benched. We've seen players benched in the past. Of course, Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee have both since been sent out. Those were guys that were, Joel Farabee was benched for the whole game after a bad play one game last season. Morgan Frost, healthy scratch, toilet seat comment up and down. So we know what to expect right now from John Tortorella. And it is wearing a bit on the fans out there. There are, he is kind of the scapegoat right now, or maybe not the scapegoat, but the guy that people are going to put their attention to. There's no Farabee anymore. There's no Frost. Ristolainen's turning it around. There's no clear player to blame for it. So it goes back to Tortorella. And maybe this is a bit calculated by him to put the attention on himself away from his team. He's done that in the past, but it does just seem like he is frustrated with the situation where they have been clear. They're going to, develop Michkov the way they want to develop him. They want to make sure he can play defense. But at that same time, you want to see him, make those offensive plays. You want to see him be able to go up the ice, cheat a little bit on offense, but without giving up too much on defense. And go back to that goal, if that wasn't Michkov, if that was Konechny, or if that was Paling, or if that was some other winger, maybe it's not as highlighted as much as it was during the intermission when Paul Bissonnette and the rest of the TNT crew broke it down there, saying he should have been, between the dots and whatnot. But that's what Michkov is. He has Couturier on his line. He has a speedy Tippett on his line. He's the winger. He's the offensive winger. That's what he's going to be. And, he definitely does need to round out his game a little bit. But as long as he's, making the right play, making the offensive highlights, you can live with some defensive lapses, especially when it's something like that wasn't really as egregious as it possibly could be. Then we did have the Devils' second goal, in which Michkov had a play as well. Let me pull that up here for you guys. Okay, well, actually, the highlights don't show it great here, but as it switches to this next after the save here, you see Michkov down in the corner, and pause it real quick. Michkov is up here. The puck came around to him. He tried to get it back to Travis Sanheim. If you watch the broadcast, they did show this angle later in the game, but he does not get it back. Maybe he could have put it in deep, but if he made he made the right decision there, did not execute on it, and once again, he's the one of the deep forwards in there, so he's one of the last guys back. Devils get pucks in deep here. Forecheck, back check, paycheck. If you want to say that there, get it around. Puck takes a bounce right to Eric Halla, and he scores for the first time in several years. There, it felt like. So, Michkov once again on the ice for a goal against. But if you can say the first one was on him. That was probably his guy to cover. But this one just unfortunate play in the offensive zone. And then, sticks, pinballs around right to the Devils player, who puts it home for the 2-0 lead for the Devils here. But, the main point of this is getting back to Michkov and what he's done and what he's done properly, what he's done poorly, and how the Flyers are really just trying to develop him with John Tortorella at the helm. And, we don't know how long John Tortorella is going to be here behind the bench. He does potentially want to move upstairs in the coming years. It was important for him to get at least 1 year here with Michkov, but we'll see what happens in the offseason and coming up here. And another angle of this is you do kind of want to see Tortorella, give it to Michkov a little bit. He's not going to be treated any differently. Like if he made that mistake and wasn't talked to about it or wasn't benched for just a shift or two, you might see some of these other young guys coming up being like, all right, he's getting away with it. Why can't I get away with it? And it also just makes sure Michkov gets those good habits. And that's really what the Flyers want to do here. They want to make sure he's developing the right way, playing Flyers hockey. And, this is all going to be a learning experience for him, learning experience for his teammates. And once again, it's a rebuild. This is a rebuild. We want to see Michkov perform well. We want to see him develop well, most importantly, so we can hopefully have some playoff hockey to watch in the coming years and, maybe a Stanley Cup. Who knows here? So, 20-year-old rookie. He's going to do what he's going to do. Going to have some mistakes, but nothing too much to worry about. Just, last month of the season. Once again, we got Tortorella drama to deal with. So once again, keep it tuned here to Broad Street Hockey on YouTube. Do subscribe there. Just a bunch of guys talking puck here. Got guys and gals talking puck. So subscribe to Broad Street Hockey on YouTube. Gonna have some podcasts out as well. So do that on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. And we'll see you next time.